All right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Howi Spangler here. This is Tales from the Green Room, episode number 133. And I got to get rid of these notifications. There we go. All right. Cool. So, happy 2021, everybody. We're live right now here on the YouTube channel, so I imagine some people will be coming in here shortly. But I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Well, here we are. We made it. 2021. What do you think? What's everybody thinking? Is everybody, are you stoked? Are you happy that we got past that monstrosity of a year? I mean, honestly, I look at it like, you know, it's over. You know, we made it, but it's not over. You know what I mean? We have a long way to go. I'd say, you know, just from some of the articles I've read and some of the news that I've been seeing. And I try not to get sensational, you know, or fall into the sensationalism that some of these networks, most of these networks, you know, for the ratings and all that. But you do, there is some truth to this stuff. It just depends. You got to be able to you know, unspin it. And I like to get my news sources I like to get my news from different sources, you know, like not just one place. So I'll watch CNN, I'll watch Fox News, I'll watch NBC. I'll just kind of see like what everybody's saying and then sort of get my own kind of perspective from all that. You have to sort of break down all the bullshit, you know, so and figure it out. But anyway, I figure we got at least another 6 months. That's what I'm thinking before we really start seeing like a difference, a change. You know, it's weird to think, like when I watch movies or shows now and I see people not wearing masks when they're out in public, it's weird. It's just strange. I don't know. I've become so accustomed to it now, you know? So I'm like, wow, there was a time where people could just be around each other and not have to wear a mask. And that's really strange. It goes through your head. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, realistically, you have to be realistic about it. You know, we can be romantic and we can say, oh, you know, this will be over soon. You know, in the grand scheme of things, it will be over soon, you know, but you know, not soon enough. You know, it's January. I can't see this being gone by March, by April. You know what I mean? So you have to sort of take a realistic position, and sort of lower the bar in a way, and you know, just keep holding it down and moving forward. Stay focused. You know, look, I'm in a band that tours, and I haven't done that in almost a year now. So, yeah, I definitely want to get back to it all, but I'm definitely looking at it, you know, going, okay, well, from what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, yeah, it makes sense. Like June-ish, you know, maybe July. It's going to be a while before most of the country is vaccinated and we can sort of return to normal times. You know, I'm getting married in August, you know, so I'm hoping the way things are now aren't the way they're going to be 8 months from now or 7 months from now. So, you know, I'd like to be able to do our wedding and not have to even think about masks and social distancing and all that stuff, you know? So, you know, those are the things that go through my mind lately. So yes, I'm happy that 2020 is gone in the garbage, you know, but you have to remain vigilant and be realistic, and positive's great. Positivity is awesome. I push for that a lot, but just keep your head on straight and try to keep complying to the guidelines, and keep this thing down. I know we're supposed to spike here sometime this month because of the holidays, but if we can we can go on the offensive and try to squash the curve, as much as possible, until keep it at bay until the vaccine is widely available. So those are my thoughts on that. But yeah, so Happy New Year to everybody. And I want to say, I kind of addressed this yesterday on the stream. I did 2 streams yesterday. I was here on YouTube, and then I did some Facebook as well. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support, and I didn't do a lot of podcasting last year. It's funny to say last year now, even though it was yesterday. I didn't do a whole lot of podcasts. I think I only did 30 some episodes last year, maybe that. And it's kind of disappointing in a way, because I felt like I was pretty productive. I felt like I was doing a lot of stuff. I felt like we had a lot going on. Like the band was doing a lot of things, with the live streams and the merch drops and all that stuff. But the podcast kind of took a back seat in a way, and I'm bummed out about that. So I'm definitely trying to get back on it. That's why I want to get on here January 1, start fresh, and hopefully I'm back to a regular schedule with the podcast, and making videos and all that. And I've been at it more with the getting the what's it called, the song of the day. I've been kind of back to that a little bit, so I'm hoping to keep that up. I don't know if it'll be every day, but I hope to definitely get back to it, because I started that January 1st, 2019, so 2 years ago today. Started doing that, and 2 years, and I've only done, I think, 64 episodes of that. So do the math, right? I definitely slacked on that hard, but so I don't like to call them resolutions, because I think resolutions is it's a quick way to just not do it. It's a fail. You're setting yourself up for failure. You just need to get up and do things, So reading, for example, I've always wanted to read, and I could never make myself do it. I could never get myself to sit down and read a book. I did read The Dirt by Motley Crue, which was great. And that was one of the first books I ever read. And that was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. It's disgusting. I'm a full grown man. I hadn't really read a book, So this year, this is it takes me back to, this is kind of where this is where I'm at, with 2020s. Yes, it was horrible, but it wasn't that horrible. I know a lot of people, there are people out there that that just straight up didn't work, and people lost loved ones, and you may know someone that lost a loved one. There were some hardships for sure. I was definitely hit with depression a lot. I suffered from that, anxiety a little bit. But ultimately, I found a way to keep working, which I'm going to get into here on this episode. And I titled it, Sometimes I Get Too Busy. We'll go into that shortly. I was able to sort of curb all that depression after a while. So I started reading. I had to find things to do with my time. And I started looking into finance. I started educating myself about finance. Started getting my finances in line. Then Christmas ruined it all. Buying the house. I had to buy this house that I'm living in. Buying the house, and then Christmas, literally, 2 weeks later from that. I spent 3 months in the process of buying this house, and that was just a big stress ball. Learning experience for sure. Keep all your documents in the cloud. I'll say that. Get a Dropbox account or a Google Drive or something, and put all your taxes and all your things, like documents, in the cloud. So you can just send a link when they're like, hey, send this. You're like, boom, there it is. Oh my God, it was nuts. So, after that, 2 weeks later, it's Christmas. So it's like, I couldn't spend any money. I couldn't get the shopping done. And I'd planned to really have it locked, and I wanted to be done. Like Black Friday weekend, I wanted it to be done, just kind of relax and wrap gifts along the way and sort of just enjoy the season, and, it was crazy, but we got through it. And we were able to give the kids a wonderful Christmas. Danielle was very, very strict, very strong on the idea of wanting to just blow it out for these kids, because it's been a hell of a year, especially for them, not going to school and just sort of doing it here. And, the quality of education certainly dipped, I'll say, because I feel like a complete dumbass a lot of times. I had to relearn all that stuff. And the Common Core math and all that. And the Common Core math, I'm not one of those haters. Ooh, Common Core. I think it was fine. I don't know. It makes sense to me. So yeah, we got through all that, and now here we are, January 1st, and I'm reflecting. I wanted to do the pod today and sort of reflect on all that, and just say that definitely the times were tough. But there were some good things that came out of it. We learned that, our fans are awesome. For one, we have the best fans ever. I have the best people supporting me, for everything that I do, with the band, and then my solo stuff, and then the podcast and the YouTube channel. What else? But people buying cameos. I have 2 cameos to do today. It's just the support. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I feel like me and the guys owe you something. I don't know what, but it's just it's huge, So thank you all for that. So yes, reading. I was getting into reading. So check it out. I started reading this book called The 48 Laws of Power right here. Okay. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And he also wrote a book called The Art of Seduction. So there's a little bit of that in here about seduction. So that would be cool too to read as well, now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, The 48 Laws of Power, it was recommended by Ryan Holiday, who did he writes all the books on philosophy, like Stoicism, The Obstacles of the Way, Stillness is the Key, Ego is the Enemy. I think the new one is the Lives of the Stoics. So I got the 3-pack, the bundle, for Christmas. It's upstairs. I got a little bookshelf started upstairs. It's pretty rad. Anyway, so I've been reading this one, and it's interesting because it's like when you read through the blurb on the back, it seems like very nefarious. It seems like evil. Like the 48 Laws of Power. Like, for instance, here's a couple. Law number 1, never outshine the master. Number 2, these are just like the short descriptions, and then it goes all into it for each one. But number 2, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Number 3, conceal your intentions. Number 4, always say less than necessary. Number 5, so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Number 6, court attention at all cost. Number 7, get others to do work for you, but always take the credit. You see what I mean? It sounds like mean and evil, and it was almost like when Ryan Holiday suggested that people read this, I was like, damn, okay, this sort of, I feel like it goes against like being a good person and all that stuff, right? But it's what I'm kind of, it was interesting nonetheless. So what I'm kind of gathering from it is that it's like you can look at it both ways. Like, you can definitely use a lot of this information to help you sort of get that power and sort of take control of your life. But it's also something to like to understand how to not be taken advantage of. That's kind of the position I'm taking with it as I read, like, how can, what are these laws here that are going to help me like not be taken advantage of? Yeah, Jamie, exactly. As it's what leaders do. Exactly. We're here live in the chat on YouTube right now. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. It helps the algorithm and all that stuff. So really appreciate it. And then subscribe at Tales from the Green Room podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Okay, so the one I wanted to touch on today was always say less than necessary. So for the longest time, and this it goes in line with like how I feel about doing this podcast, for example, and being like a public speaker in a way. I've been on stage since I was 15 years old. And as the lead singer, you always have to like come up with interesting things to say, like rock star shit, right? And I don't know where I am, where I land, like with the success rate. Like, am I, I feel like at least 50-50. At least 50-50. I say something on stage between songs, or when we're getting a song revved up, we're trying to get the crowd all going and stuff. I'll say things, what the fuck's going on? Like, stuff like that. And then the other 50% is just like complete failure. Like, now you look like an idiot. You just undid all the cool shit you just said. The whole mystique, everything is gone. So you sort of the more you talk, the more things you say, you really increase your chances of just falling on your face. And I've always thought that, and this book addresses that, and I thought that was so cool and interesting that I'm not the only one that thinks this. So here's a little passage. So when you as I'm learning, like, you gotta make notes. You gotta like, highlight things, and I've seen guys like crease the paper, just whatever. It basically becomes a notebook. So okay. Here's just a couple lines that popped out at me. A person who cannot control his words shows that he cannot control himself and is unworthy of respect. And that's like, yeah, that kind of rings true. It's like somebody that just shoots off at the mouth. Now, some people are gifted and they can just say anything, and like there's some charm to it. They own it. The way it's like the delivery, all those things. I'm not really that guy. That's what I've, realized that a long time ago. But a lot of things I say has to be sort of calculated, and it's hard to just like shoot from the hip, And I've so many times been in conversation, or even on this podcast, where I just, when I'm interviewing someone, or I'll just go on about something and I don't know how to wrap it up, or I'll just say something that just sounds ridiculous, And I know I'm not the only one that thinks these things, So, okay, here's another one. Let's see. But the human tongue is a beast that few can master. Very true. It strains constantly to break out of its cage, and if it's not tamed, it will run wild and cause you grief. Power cannot accrue to those who squander their treasure of words. That's so eloquently put, first off. But again, so true. Like your tongue is it's just ready to you got to keep it under control. You got to keep it under wraps, And the whole thing about this law here, the law is, where is it? This is law, no, not number 3. This is law number 4. Always say less than necessary. Okay. All right, check this out. It says judgment. When you are trying to impress people with words. The more you say, the more common you appear and the less in control. Even if you are saying something banal, B-A-N-A-L. I'm learning a lot of words as I read, everybody. I'm not sure what that means. It will seem, even if you say something banal, but I don't know, somebody help me out with that. It will seem original if you make it vague, open-ended, and sphinx-like. I like that, sphinx-like, statuesque, iconic. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. Exactly, right? I love this part. This is a quote from Leonardo da Vinci, who lived from 1452 to 1519. Okay. Oysters open completely when the moon is full. And when the crab sees one, it throws a piece of stone or seaweed into it, and the oyster cannot close again so that it serves the crab for meat. Such is the fate of him who opens his mouth too much and thereby puts himself at the mercy of the listener. Like this, law number 4 just rang so true to me. Here's another one. This one goes a lot with the times right now, the last few years. Once the words are out, you cannot take them back. Keep them under control. Be particularly careful with sarcasm. The momentary satisfaction you gain with biting your words, the momentary satisfaction you gain with your biting words will be outweighed by the price you pay. Just huge, man. I just, goddamn, that's number 4. Like there's 48 of them. The 48 Laws of Power, right here, by Robert Greene. So go check this out. I'll put the link on my in the description and when I'm done here. But I just thought that was so interesting. So I've actually been really into this one. I'm reading like a law or two a day, roughly. I'm not that much of an aggressive reader, but yeah, like I always find myself like having to try and retain what I've read, have to read it a few times, but this stuff's kind of coming to me pretty easy. I'm reading it pretty easily. So anyway, I thought that was very cool. So I can't wait to, get more into that. Okay, today's episode. I titled this episode number 133. Sometimes I get too busy. So I had a guy on the Hooligans page. He asked me, "Hey, when are you gonna jump back on the pod?" And I was like, "Well, I was actually thinking about doing one today. Is there anything in particular you'd like me to talk about?" Because that's another thing too that's kind of kept me from doing a show is that I don't really know what to talk about. I have a few things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about merch drop. That's I've learned a lot about that this year, stuff like that. But he said, if I had to choose one thing, I'd say I'd really love to hear about how you keep your work as a producer in terms of being available to other artists and working in the studio at home from conflicting with the growth of Ballyhoo as a band. Let's see. How do you keep yourself from splitting your focus as a band member and a producer? That would be really insightful. Seems nowadays in the music industry, you need to wear a lot of hats to be successful, but you have to have a unique perspective and that you started in an indie band and it grew successfully first. So any advice from someone starting out in production rather than as a band member would be helpful to me, as well as other producers and audio engineers. So that's Chance Nobra. Thanks for the question, man. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about this because I found that that's intriguing. So who's drinking water today? I'm drinking Essentia. They don't pay me. They should, but they don't. It's a low acid ionized hydration. Yeah, it's got a high pH. Anyway, so I'll say, sometimes I get too busy. I think I've always tried to tell people that, it's time. It is now time to, especially if you're self-employed, like myself, or, even if you have a job, there's a lot of people that can't make it on a 40 hours a week, so, I think now is the time to pursue multiple revenue streams, speaking of which, Super Chat is available if anybody would like to chime in on that. That's what I'm talking about right there. That was so bad. No, I think it's you need to be pursuing multiple revenue streams, and it should be something that you're interested in, something that you are, you're good at, something you know a lot about, something that's not gonna like make you mad that you're doing it, because then it becomes work, right? So, it is possible, like I've always wanted to like have like a clothing line, I always thought that'd be cool to have a clothing line. I always thought it'd be cool to run a label. I always wanted to do that. So we started the label, and we actually put, we actually signed a couple bands and put them out, and, so we did that. I actually have incorporated the, the clothing line into what I do, creating the brand there, like, and I want to go further with that. I'm working on that, sort of right now. But, it's all things I'm interested in, with the dream and grind stuff. I figured, the brand, the things that I push is like advice, just like, I always think, whenever I think of dream and grind, I think of the, if you can dream it, you can do it, from Blades of Glory, with Will Ferrell. That was one of the lines from that movie. If you can dream it, you can do it. And it makes sense. It's like, Back to the Future, George McFly, Marty, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything, right? That's always stuck with me too. So, I push that narrative, I push people to be more than they ever dreamed of, but the way to get there, look, you can sit there and dream all day long. You can have stars in your eyes all day, but if you don't do the work, grind, then it's not going to happen, and, there's people that seemingly pop up out of nowhere that you never heard of that like have this huge following, and you're like, where'd that come from? Overnight sensation style, but it's not overnight sensation. They've been working at it, they've been doing this a long time. So, those are the types of things that I push, right? So I try to incorporate everything that I'm into my creative and push it out in whatever channel I feel is appropriate. So the podcast is one way of getting my thoughts out there, and then when I started seeing, probably late 2018, early 2019, started seeing video podcasts, like people, sitting in the studio, and I was like, that's where I got to go. I got to start doing that. So I, upgraded my gear, got some fancy lights back here. I got this ring light right here, just upgraded my cameras and try to make the set look cooler. This back here has been a mess. I just have things and I just put it here. Like, I'm just like, I don't know what this is. And this has just been there for like 2 years. I haven't, I got to fix this. But I do want to make it look nicer in here. I always have other things to do, but so I'm very, I don't know what the hell I was just saying. Just lost track. So yeah, I try to push for things, And yeah, so I started seeing the video podcast. I got to do that. So the podcast naturally transitioned to being a video thing, and then I was like, well, I can go live, I was able to do these things, and I will get to this question if this is all relevant. I was able to do these things because the band helped create that awareness around me, and I want this, for the guys in the band too. I want them to be able to do things like this. I tell my brother all the time, like, dude, you got to do some kind of a, B horror movie podcast or, show on YouTube like once a week. I don't know, something like, he's really good at, like, he can quote every movie and just really good at that trivia and stuff. I think it'd be fun. He's also good at playing video games. Like, yo, stream yourself playing video games, but like, I don't know. You just take the things that you're good at, you embrace them, your talent, and you can monetize it. It takes a while, but so that's what I've been doing. It's been taking all this stuff that I've been doing, and sort of, I created some merch. I created a couple shows. There's other things going on, but so with all that stuff going on, I'm also producing bands, recording, mixing, co-writing, things like that. The question was, how do you do all these things and still focus on the band? How do you split your time? And that's really what it is. You have to manage your time. And sometimes I get too busy. Sometimes I'll find myself getting a little stressed out doing the things that I love because I've got too many things that I love all happening at once, right? And, so like I'll take on a few projects at a time and I'll have artists hit me up. Hey, you want to jump on this song? I'd love for you to sing on this. I'm like, yeah, send it over. Meanwhile, I've got 2 other albums that I'm producing and mixing or something. And, it's all those things. And then I have to make sure that I'm still writing and creating for Ballyhoo, and that means like making videos for Ballyhoo and writing songs and then getting together with the guys and recording. Speaking of which, I got to go up. I'm leaving Sunday to go up to New Hampshire to make a record for about a week, and then I come back and I'm meeting up with the guys. And we're going to go to Pacifarm. It's Ted and Bree's place here in Southern Maryland. And we're going to do some writing. So I'm excited for that. But you just have to make the time. That's really what it is. You have to make the time. And, that's how anything gets done. If you care about something, make the time for it. There's times where I don't feel like writing anything. I think last week or the week before, I was sitting down with my notebook and I was trying to write a song a night, like not even a full song, just like a few lines, like a verse and a chorus or something, and just try to get that going. I stopped, you get into something then you stop, but just trying to exercise that muscle. And I try to tell myself too, like, I just bought this book, Creativity by John Cleese. It's not getting here until next week, and then I won't be here to get it. So I'll hopefully read that in about 2 weeks. But, I'm trying to get, sometimes I need advice, like I'll watch videos on YouTube and stuff about how to be creative. Because I feel like I overthink it, I know I overthink it. And this is self-awareness is key, everybody. Self-awareness. You have to know yourself. You have to know what's going on with you to really understand. You have to break yourself down a little bit. And like I've realized that, like, yeah, I overthink things too much. And I've just been, I don't know, like torturing myself, So I always feel like I need to write the best, most iconic lines ever. It has to be 100% radio ready. You know what I mean? Like coming right out of my head, just onto the paper. And it, you know, that is the perfectionism is like, that's what's crushing me. You know, it's like, I heard something great the other day, say it straight and then say it great, you know? And I'm not sure I'd ever heard it put that way, but I've told other artists that way. I'm like, look, man, just write, just put things, just write it down and then fix it later. You know, tell your story, and you can do several drafts if you want to do it that way. You know, just tell your story and then, you know, flip to the next piece of paper and write the story again, but put it in like a song form or a poem form, you know, syllables and things like that. And then go back and try to make it rhyme and come up with cool puns and, you know, one-liners and things. Like, it doesn't have to be so epic. It can be simple. So that's where I'm at with that. So when I feel like that, I, you know, I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm done. You know, I'll move on to this other project that I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you have to commit to something fully, but if you're not feeling it, if you're just not feeling it and you're burnt out on it, just stop and come back to it later. It'll be there when you come back. I like to work on a schedule that like, I hate deadlines. I've always hated deadlines. And I that's why I like the subscription model. You know, I've toyed with that idea, like the Patreon and stuff like that. You can even do like subscriptions here, I think, after you hit 10K subs or something. But that scares the shit out of me, because it's like, now I have to create content all the time for people that are paying me to do this. And like, I don't want that kind of pressure, you know. I'd rather just, like, if people are going to donate or super chat or whatever, like, I'd rather have just kind of do it on their own and not sort of lock people in, which then locks me in to feeling like I need to make some great shit, you know, to make it worth it. And that's just super stressful to even think about. So, you know, I guess if I was like one of these YouTubers that was like, you know, that was my thing, that would be different. But, you know, when you're in a band, it's like, it's kind of tough to think about it that way. It's tough to, like, it's like we put all this stuff out for free. Like, what else can I do that would be super special and unique and cool that I'm not already doing? You know, I engage with people, and I apologize, I haven't really engaged with anybody in the chat here today. I'm just kind of going off, but I haven't done an episode in a while, so I got a lot to say, I guess. Jamie's right. I need a brain group. I do. Stony Vision says, I think you're heading on a great path with the content. I wouldn't stress it. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. It's, you know, the support that I get from you guys is huge. It's just, you know, it blows my mind. So the fact that I even have an audience, you know, it's rad. So I hope it's creating some value for you guys, because it definitely is valuable to me that you're here and that I can do this. So, you know, so yeah, you have to make the time for it. You have to, you know, try not to take on too much. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're not ready for that. You know, like, I feel like I'm a pretty good mixer now when it comes to mixing records, but I'm not going to go, you know, and try to get a hold of the Foo Fighters or Green Day and be like, hey, I want to mix your record. Like, I just wouldn't do that, you know. I'm not ready for that. And there's a degree of like, hey, you got to believe in yourself, and sure you can. But you also have to know, like, no, I'm not ready. Like, there, you know, if you saw my mixes, like, it's kind of a mess in there. It's not pretty, you know. Sometimes I'll have, for all you nerds out there, like, I'll have way too many plugins on a channel, and, you know, too many plugins on my master bus, things like that. It's like, I'm trying to get down to simplify. Like, I want to use like 2 plugins, you know, on each track. But it's kind of a mess. It's like I find a way to get there, but I want to do it prettier. So that when I feel like I can do it that way, then I might be starting to try to go after these bigger bands. But this leads me to this as well. Like you'll know when you're ready. You'll know when you're ready. You're gonna whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're trying to do, the career you're trying to take. You just level up. You look at Gary Vee says, you have to look at the end result, where you want to be, and then reverse engineer how you want to get there. You just go backwards, to where you are, and then you start taking those steps. I envision like a big stone staircase on the side of a fucking mountain with lightning and black clouds. And there's like a wizard up there, and just like throwing lightning bolts at you, right? That's life. And you have to jump, you have to leap to these, epic leaps to these different levels, these different paths. And that's what it's like for me, on the climb to my version of success. So yeah, I mean, when it comes back to how do I find the time? I make the time. The time is a commodity. You can't get it back. It's the one thing you can't get back. You can make more money. You can make more friends. You can go to the grocery store and get more food. You can't create more time, right? You can't buy more time. You can maximize your time, the time that you have, right? So when I was 32, I decided that I wasn't going to work anymore. Not the regular job. I wasn't gonna work that job anymore. Wait tables, bartend. I had spent, I'd say 14, 15 years working jobs. A lot of warehouse jobs, loading trucks, things like that. And waiting tables and delivering pizza. What else did I do? I drove forklifts and things. I did all that stuff, and I was tired of doing it. I was so sick of it. And you know what? Is like I would be at work and I'd be getting in trouble for being on my phone replying to fans on MySpace. And this was back when like apps were really shitty. Like things were slow, and it took forever to message someone back. I would be in the bathroom or the stock room or something, the freezer, the walk-in freezer, and I'd be like texting fans back, and announcing shows and stuff. And I'd get in trouble, and you get threatened to like lose your shifts and get your phone taken away and all this bullshit. It was like school, and and that job was super good to me in the larger scale. Like, what job would let you, just leave for months and then come back and just pick up where you left off, So I thank you to the Olive Tree in Aberdeen, exit 85 off of 95 in Aberdeen. If you want some great crab cakes or Italian food, that's the best place to go. Nah, man, that place was great. I just got sick of waiting tables and doing that work. It just wasn't for me. So when I was 32, I got home from a tour. I had a 3-year-old son. He was 2 or 3, and living in a 2-bedroom apartment. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I need time. I need 12, 14 hours of being at home, building a studio, working on my craft, learning how to record myself, learning how to mix, and how to use this gear. Like, I needed time, and I could not do it when I was spending so much time at work. you know, and it got so frustrating. It was so frustrating. I just, I hated it, man. I come home smelling like French fries, you know, and just, I wouldn't see my kid, you know. I wasn't seeing him when I was gone on tour, and then I wasn't seeing him when I was at home. You know, the family was just a back seat, you know. And so, as scary as it was, having a family, and, you know, the money wasn't great, you know. But I was like, I knew that I had to do something. I had to take the leap. I had to maximize my time. And going part-time just wasn't going to work for me because, you know, then you get roped back into working a double, you know. As much as you say, hey, I can only work Mondays, you know, Monday mornings, 10 to 2. That's you're not really making money anyway like that. I remember coming home making $20-$30 sometimes. You know, it's just like, was that worth my time? Was that worth missing out on valuable, you know, time that I could educate myself on YouTube? You know, I signed up for lynda.com. Anybody remember that website? Lynda. Lynda.com. I signed up for that, and it was, you know, you could watch these fully done, professionally done courses, and you could download project files and things and work on stuff. I signed up. I think I did that twice, like 2 different emails, got the 3-week trial, downloaded all the shit that I could, kept a lot of the videos, just watched them all the time. Went on YouTube, you know, I just sat there and learned, you know. I was really into it. But I told her, I was like, look, I have to do this. I know it's scary, but like, this is going to be so much better one day, I promise. And she was super supportive, you know. I'm sure she was scared out of her mind, but she was very supportive, and she let me pursue this, you know. And I know that, you know, every day, every year that goes by, I'm like, God, thank fucking God for her, you know. Like, she just gets me, you know. And she wants me to be successful. So, thank you for that, babe. But so yeah, you make the time, you know, you take your time back, you own it, you know, like, you get that control back. You figure out what you need to do to make the things happen that you want to happen. And that's the end of it, you know. There's not a whole lot to say after that. If you're not feeling it, you know, then you shouldn't be doing it. But, you know, that's why I say, like, only pursue something that you're good at, you know very well, you love it, you know, because then it won't feel like work. It's not work. This is not work. This is amazing that I can sit here and talk to you guys and just, like, brain vomit all over you. You know, that sounds awful. Why did I say it like that? It's right. But I just feel like, you know, super grateful. And I encourage all you guys to do this, you know. If you know anything about anything, you know, if there's something where you're like, let's say if you know everything about anything or a lot about something, you know, you should start a podcast. You should go on YouTube, you know. If you like cooking, you should start, you know, take your phone and film yourself, get a tripod and film yourself making a dish and go from there. You know, I told a friend of mine, he's very good at drawing. I'm like, dude, you should be like having a camera mounted over you and drawing and talking and asking your audience, wait, what should I draw today? Hey, what should I add to this? You know, like, and then sell the thing at the end of the show every week. Like, you know, it's for that, you know, people want to buy independent art, I feel, you know. They want to consume independent creations. I don't know. Those are my thoughts on that. I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate you guys taking the time and watching, listening. And what do you guys think of this look? Do you guys like this? You guys like my pineapple right here? You guys, I got the social stuff here in the corner. I'm gonna change this logo. I'm not a fan of this logo anymore. I'm gonna go with, I think, a more neon, like a whippy little neon thing. This is kind of dated to me. I made this like 2 years ago. Yeah, started in 2018. Oh my God, 3 years ago. Holy shit. The podcast is almost 3 years old, everybody. Yeah, I think this month. I think the end of this month. Was it end of January or beginning of Feb? Anyway, yeah, damn, 3 years old. 3 years old and I've only got 133 episodes. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I need to get back on this thing and start talking my face off to you guys. Let me know, please, in the comments. Leave in the comments below. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about in the future. What would you like to know about? Did you guys like the book stuff? Like, should I do more of that? Like, talk about books I'm into? Check out the 48 Laws of Power. I'll when I'm done here, I'll put the link in the description to get this book if you want to check it out. Let me know, man. What should I be doing here? Cool. You guys like it? Nice. Neon logos will be rad. Excellent. Yeah, man. I'm into this. I do like the back wall. I think it looks cool. The whole thing looks cool. I think we just need to address the logo situation right here, and I think we'll be in good shape. And then when I bring, guests on, I'll put them, next to me and same treatment with the neon around. I don't know. I think it'd be dope. Nick says obstacle is the way is my jam. Absolutely, man. Ryan Holiday has got it going on. You should follow his YouTube channel, The Daily Stoic. He's got a podcast too, but like, man, just such great information. Such good information. If you're just a fucking mess like I am mentally, follow The Daily Stoic. And I'll try to, I'm going to try to incorporate all this stuff too, but I want you guys to, I want to know what you guys want from me. So just please tell me in the comments below. Please, if you're watching, please leave a like. Smash the like button. The algorithm. I think YouTube. I've heard they'll punish you for not being on as much as you used to, and so I don't know how many people got to see this video today, but please leave a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Please subscribe to Tales from the Green Room podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple. Anywhere. And thank you guys so much for all the support. I hope I addressed your stuff, and thanks for listening to me just babble on and on and on. This is Tales from the Green Room, episode number 133. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you soon.